Hi, this is Alex from Groovy Entertainment. Today we got another book and record to play for you. Today's book is Benji Go Camping from 1983. So let's get started.
This is your Benji read-along book. Every time you hear this chime, it means that you are to turn the page in your storybook. Now we are ready to begin our adventure to the land of fun. Open your book, and we will start the story of Benji Goes Camping. Remember, when you hear the chime, turn the page.
Hello, my name is Mary, and I'm the housekeeper for Dr. Chapman and his two lovely children. Let me tell you about an adventure they had with our friend Benji. It was early in the morning of what would be a very special day. Dr. Chapman had promised to take the children camping at the lake near Bear Mountain, and they were dressed and ready to go. Paul was very impatient as he asked over and over again,
"Where's Dad? We're ready to go camping."
Cindy, his sister, added, "I'm going to catch the biggest fish ever." The excited children sat down for breakfast, and before I could put the bacon and eggs on the table, Dr. Chapman came into the kitchen and said,
"Children, eat your breakfast and we will be on our way."
Breakfast was almost over when we heard a familiar bark outside the kitchen door. It was our friend Benji, waiting for his breakfast. I opened the door and gave our favorite pup his breakfast. Paul asked his father if Benji could go camping with them. Dr. Chapman answered with a very definite no. The children hugged and kissed me goodbye and ran out of the house into the yard. They jumped into the station wagon, which was already loaded with fishing and camping equipment. Everyone was ready to go.
"Goodbye, Benji!"
called the children as they waved to Benji and me. I looked down at Benji, and he seemed very unhappy as he watched the children driving away. He started to bark as if he were trying to tell me something. Then I knew what he was saying to me. He was going to follow the children up to Bear Mountain. But of course I said to him, "Benji, don't go. You might get lost or hurt." But Benji had a mind of his own, and he started to race down the road after the children. Land sakes, I thought to myself, that dog can certainly run fast when he wants to get somewhere. Benji ran down the road. When he reached the highway, he stopped and looked around, wondering which way he should go. I really don't know how he did it, but he finally decided to take the road that led up to Bear Mountain and the lake. Benji knew enough to stay on the sides of the road, far from the fast-moving cars and trucks. The morning moved slowly on, and about noon a very tired dog sat down under an old tree to rest. At that moment, a broken-down truck pulled off the highway, and a kind-faced old man rolled down his car window and called to Benji,
"Hey, Poochie, you look lonely sitting there. I'm driving up to Bear Mountain. I'm kind of lonely, too. Why don't you ride up there with me?"
Now, when Benji heard that his newfound friend was going up to the mountain, he jumped up. Before the old man could open the door, Benji jumped through the window and landed with a thud next to his new friend.
My, you're some extra special doggy. You know, you look like a dog I had when I was small.
Benji liked this old gentleman and gave him a nice lick on the cheek.
Well, we better get going. It's a long trip up to the lake at Bear Mountain.
The truck rattled off down the highway. The sun was just setting as they reached the top of Bear Mountain.
Well, we're here, Poochie. You look a little hungry.
Well, it had been a long time since breakfast, so at the word hungry, Benji began to bark as loud as he could. Benji's friend drove his truck off the road and pulled up near the lake.
Come on out of the truck, doggy. I'm going to heat up this can of chili and share it with you.
Soon, the old-timer had a small fire going, and in no time at all, Benji and his pal were sharing the can of chili. After After dinner, Benji began to bark.
I know what you're trying to say. You have to be on your way. Well, you were the best company I've had in a long time. I'll be seeing you, little fella.
Benji's new friend watched as Benji ran off into early evening twilight. Benji knew that Cindy and Paul would be camped somewhere near the shore of the lake. The sounds of the approaching night filled the air as Benji walked near the lake. Suddenly, he saw Dr. Chapman's station wagon on the other side of the lake. Benji started to run as fast as he could. He wanted to surprise his three friends. Meanwhile, inside the little tent they had set up, Dr. Chapman was telling Cindy and Paul ghost stories. The same stories that his father had told him when he was a little boy. Just as Dr. Chapman got to the most exciting part of his story, they heard a growl from somewhere in the woods.
What was that?
Asked Paul.
I don't know.
Answered their father. They heard the growl again, and it seemed to be getting closer to the tent.
Do you think it's a wild animal?
Asked a frightened Cindy. Dr. Chapman nodded his head as he said,
Sounds like it might be a bear.
Oh!
cried the children as they huddled together. The growling sounds got closer and closer, for outside the tent a giant black bear was walking towards the light inside. The bear was just about to hit the canvas tent with one of his mighty paws when Benji came out of the darkness. When Benji saw the bear, he barked loudly. Land sakes, that dog wasn't afraid of anything. When that big bear heard Benji snarling and barking, he turned and looked at the little dog. What a sight it must have been! That big old bear looking down at small Benji, doing his best to look fierce. But I want to tell you that Benji snarled, and that bear didn't know what to do, except maybe turn around and run, which it did. When the bear was out of sight, Benji ran into the tent. Dr. Chapman and the children were amazed to see Benji there. They wondered how he could have found them all the way up there at the lake, and they were never so glad to see anyone in all their lives.
Benji!
Cried Cindy.
You saved us!
Paul said.
We're lucky that Benji followed us here.
Dr. Chapman nodded his head. He knew that Benji had saved the day. Dr. Chapman said,
Benji, from now on, when I take the children on a camping trip, you are coming with us.
From that day on, whenever the doctor took the children to Bear Mountain to go camping, a very happy Benji went along with them. You know, I don't think there will ever be another dog as special as Benji is to us.
It's like magic in the air.
So this was Benji Go Camping from 1983. So please like, subscribe, share, and comment, and have a groovy day. And our next book will be A Winter Smurf.